There's no place in the world
like Rodeo Drive.
I'm Pari Ehsan, your host.
And I'm your field correspondent, Jason E.C. Wright.
Welcome to Rodeo Drive, the podcast.
Fashion used to be separated into womenswear and menswear. Today, however, it's much more gender fluid.
It's really about a movement of pleasing yourself and being self-aware and not, hindering who your true self is. And I think clothing is like one of the first ways you can express that. And that is what clothing has always done.
Nicole Chapoteau is fashion director for Vanity Fair, which is the manual for Hollywood and fashion, so perfectly in sync with Rodeo Drive. We'll talk about her approach to the editorial pages of the magazine and about dressing and expressing identity in daily life and on a celebrity photo shoot.
That'll be a very interesting conversation. And speaking of ideas of identity and representation, I joined Kathy Gohari, president of the Rodeo Drive Committee, on to Rodeo Drive. We checked out how some of the leading fashion houses and luxury brands are embracing today's non-binary influences. And we started at Versace, the perfect place to explore ways of expressing yourself to the fullest. Hi, Kathy. Here we are
Jason.
On to Rodeo once again. And we're here in front of Versace. I know that Harry's going to be talking a bit more about power dressing and androgyny, but Versace's been doing this for years. You look back
way before people knew what it even was, right?
And it's one of those things that you see it in the most recent runway show with all of the suits and like the very like strong colors and shapes, but you also felt that fluidity of like, this is androgynous, is this male, is this female, but Gianni, Donatella, they've been doing this for a very long time.
Decades.
What's the history of Versace with To Rodeo?
Well, I believe it was one of the very first major fashion brands that came on board. I think it was Versace and Gianfranco Ferré. So, I mean, look at the structure that you see here in To Rodeo. There's no mistaking what this store is. If you take a look at it, its own identity, it's all in the pillars. And in every aspect of this building, it basically tells you that you have arrived at Versace.
Absolutely. That's one of the things about the architectural styles within To Rodeo that are different. I know we've talked about this in previous seasons of the podcast, how they really wanted to make sure that every boutique had its own different identity from an aesthetic, from, the balustrades to like these Roman and Greek columns that you see here. Like Versace has a sense of stature in place, but it still feels very Italian, plopped right here into To
Rodeo. Truly, like basically Godzilla picked it up from Italy and dropped it at To Rodeo or something.
Absolutely. There's so many palazzos in Italy, I don't think anyone's missing this.
It's going to miss this one, right? Yeah.
And looking at the windows here at Versace, you can see very clearly our theme for the day, which is androgyny and the fluidity of gender.
You know what? Way before we even knew what gender fluid was, Johnny was doing it. And he has continued with that message, which Donatella has taken the torch and carried it to where we are today. Definitely. Just looking at this window, I think you and I will both won't mind to have that overcoat right there, right?
You're absolutely correct.
And then look at that denim jacket on the inside. So right here, out of 3 outfits, 2 of them will look completely fashionable and work on both of us.
Absolutely, but very different. But I do believe that both of us would probably walk away with the bags and still be able to pull that off.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, for sure.
Looking across the way is Shinobi. Let's take a look over there.
Very exciting for To Rodeo. I mean, this store, in my opinion, has absolutely upped the cool value of To Rodeo, even more so. I mean, I'm almost positive looking at these displays, you and I will still be fighting over pieces in here.
And their whole concept was, what would James Bond wear on his weekend off?
Yeah.
And to that extent, what would any of the Bond girls wear from his closet? And so that was one of the fun things that they were able to do. The footwear that they have, they source and manufacture in Japan, so that any woman that wants to get those shoes, there's a size available for them, as well as a blouson or two to borrow from the boys, as it were.
Borrow? I'm keeping mine. There's no borrowing here. Absolutely. And again, just in this short few years, look at where they've come.
Absolutely.
The amount of people who are not familiar with it are one side, but how about the amount of fan following that have brought him to this location? They have absolutely expanded their audience. It seems to have made it very, very clear that almost everybody can walk in there and walk out with something.
Well, except for that bag. That one's mine.
See, here we go again. Already we're at it. Okay, well, I'll beat you to it and see who will get the bag.
Well, if you're talking about speed, I think the people that hold that record will be across the way at Porsche Design. Speaking of Porsche Design, I believe you just got a new car, didn't you?
You know what? Who says that Porsche is only for the boys? I think ladies look much better behind the wheel. So these days, you and I will even be fighting over our cars.
Or at least the parking spot. But the good thing about Porsche Design is there's a whole world of products. Like they do travel goods. They have great leather goods. Their watch collection is absolutely fantastic. And it's all designed with the same engineering that Porsche applies to their vehicles to these consumer goods, which means they're available for anyone to be able to take. But seeing a woman in a men's leather motorcycle jacket designed that way, I mean...
So cool.
There's only so many things you can do before it's taken from you, and a woman makes it look better.
And of course the sunglasses. Talk about cool factor, right?
And you need it when you're on Rodeo Drive because you're outside. It's al fresco. You get the sun, you get the wind from the Los Angeles climate, and it's just such a transformative place to be. And it almost makes you wonder, how fast could you get out of Porsche Design and into your Porsche car?
You know what? In 3.2 seconds.
Well, if we're going to keep timing things, we should probably walk around the corner and talk about the watch world over at West Time.
Wow, yes, we must.
So here we are at West Time, and I think you made a point about the timing of our conversation today.
Yeah, you know, we have been having a good time here at Rodeo. I'm fighting over pieces left and right. But pretty much the main point of this conversation is that you and I can enjoy the same pieces. The world is our oyster. And again, when it comes to watches, same thing.
Absolutely.
The scarcity of watches, I strongly believe it's because women have entered and now there's no more men's watch or women's watches.
Absolutely.
They're all going for the same pot.
Not to mention the fact that a lot of the men's watches that have been traditionally categorized as a men's watch look much better on a smaller wrist, and some of us that are fans of vintage watches, like myself, I prefer a much smaller watch face. So I'm normally picking through the lots that are the smaller watches or the women's watches, like the 39 millimeters or 40
And I go for the 41 millimeter.
Of course.
You go.
And that's how that works.
And I want it as big as possible because of my thin wrist. I really appreciate a bigger watch. So why not? That's a perfect example right there.
Well, now that we've spent our time wrapping up at a space about time, a good segue from that is to talk about how jewelry has always been a place where people have found that habit that we just talked about of making something your own, like Tiffany & Co. One of the first anchor tenants here at Rodeo Drive back in the 90s. And across the street, you have Pomellato. What other jewelry spaces should we be looking for when people come to visit these cobblestones?
You know, there seems to be, everywhere you look right now, fine jewelry in very creative, new, modern ways all over the place. As you mentioned, Tiffany's. If we look at the Hollywood red carpet events these days, you see men wearing chunky, huge diamonds on their lapels or around their neck, or wearing huge, humongous, I want one in the future, tennis bracelets. And sometimes they have them stacked. This was something that girls used to do, but right now, everybody does it. As you go by Peter Marco's vitrine from left to right, it is no longer for she or for he.
Right, it's for they.
Correct.
There's room for everyone to grab whatever they want, as long as they get there in time.
As long as you show them the card. That's all. It can be yours.
I love that. Show them the card. Thank you, Kathy. It's always a pleasure to walk these streets with you.
The pleasure is mine. Let's go shopping.
And that was Kathy Gohari, president of the Rodeo Drive Committee. I'm Jason E.C. Wright. Now, over to you, Pari.
Jason, thank you. That's the perfect setup to my interview with Nicole Chapoteau, in which we talked about the freedoms in dressing. Since 2019, she has been the fashion director of Vanity Fair, and she has styled actors, politicians, and cultural figures.
I love the fun Chapoteau's having in her work. And Vanity Fair understands and celebrates the synergy between Hollywood and fashion, just as Rodeo Drive does. It held its famed Oscar party in Beverly Hills this year, and the Hollywood issue and its cover make a splash every year.
That's right, and my first question was, how does Nicole approach the task of styling people, especially actors who we think we know from their films?
It is all about like personality with like a touch of glam and glitz, and really just honing in on who the individual is. For actors and musicians, they're constantly playing a part. And I think that the reader or the viewer, when they're watching them on screen, thinks that they're the actual person. And it's like you kind of come to Vanity Fair so you learn about who they are themselves and not the roles they portray. So I like to, for the most part, really like drive in their personality into the shoot as opposed to what I think that they should look like. It should really be collaborative and showing that personality.
Yeah, I like that. It's kind of like an unfolding of the true person.
Like, how many times have you watched a movie and there's like someone's playing a bad guy and you're just like, I hate that actor. I'm so mad at them. But like, that's not who they are. I think that is a
good
way.
Acting.
Yeah, it's really good acting, but you want to come to Vanity Fair to see who they are as a person and why you've fallen in love with them as an actor, because they're just really able to separate who their true personalities are into playing these roles.
Right. So the recent collections, both for men and women, have focused on androgynous and genderless styles. Versace in particular demonstrated some ideas of the power of the suit and genderless tailoring. How did you respond to that collection and others?
I think it's great. I've noticed that like over the decades, fashion kind of plays in and out with androgyny. Before, I feel like I noticed it was more like, I want to say like traditional men's clothing were just put on women. And now it's just really getting mixed in there. It's like, hey, a man can wear a pink suit, he can wear a skirt, it doesn't really matter. Like, wear what makes you happy, vice versa for women. Like, wear a herringbone and suit with a tie and like wear the full thing. Like, you don't need for there to be a suit made for a woman. You could just go and shop the men's section if you want to. So I love that about Versace. Miu Miu did that as well. There was just like some pieces that came down that you're like, oh, are they introducing men's? And I'm like, does it matter if they're introducing men's? It's anyone can wear it. They're letting you know that anyone can wear these pieces. As my daughter has once told me, like, gender is a social construct and it doesn't matter. Just wear what you want to wear.
Love her. Do you see this evolving shift as a reflection of a larger cultural movement?
Oh, for sure. I mean, there will always be people who push against it, but it's really about a movement of pleasing yourself and being self-aware and not, hindering who your true self is. And I think clothing is like one of the first ways you can express that. Like, even if you think about people who had to wear uniforms to school, they were always finding a way to like inject a little bit of themselves in there. And that was through clothing. Like, whether it was like, I'm going to wear my sock a little different or like, tuck my shirt in differently. Like, yeah, it's like, okay, I have to wear this uniform, but let me figure out a way to make sure I'm able to express myself. And that is what clothing has always done.
Yeah, I like the idea of dopamine dressing, like dressing for your joy or your pleasure, your happiness. I think there's so much power in that. And then I also, too, I think that was really ushered in by the younger generation of designers like Telfar and Ek Hasselhoff, Wales Bonner. I think that they, by removing gender binaries, they were able to use clothing as more of an art form.
And people just walking down the street being happy of what they're wearing. Like, I love clothes so much. Sometimes I'll be on a shoot and I'll be like, I'll see something in person and I start freaking out. I'm like, this is so beautiful. And it just like makes me really happy. It makes me so happy. And I want everyone to have that joy.
I know you're a veteran in the accessories industry and you have an expertise in jewelry. What are your thoughts on jewelry as a playground for gender fluidity?
I love jewelry so much. And in particular, my favorite thing to do on a shoot is to put pieces of jewelry that have been traditionally identified as for women on men. Like, I love a diamond necklace, a Riviera necklace on a man, pearls. I feel like that's something that like is now you're starting to see a lot more of. It doesn't matter. It's jewelry. It's beautiful. It should not just be for women.
Pearls are so sexy on men.
It's like incredible looking. Like pearls, a drop earring. Like, let everyone have the chance. It does not, if you're a guy who like you deem yourself as very masculine, it does not take away your masculinity to be wearing a pearl necklace or a diamond choker. It has nothing to do with who you are. It just like looks cool. So go for it.
I agree. And I love brooches on men too.
Oh, I've used so many brooches. Like it's just like a way of adornment. And if you look back in history at like old photos and paintings, men used to wear a lot more jewelry that had, I don't know, when it took a turn where they've decided like this jewelry is too feminine. And the same thing with watches, like vice versa for women. They're like, oh, it's so masculine. Like, but why? Who made up these rules? They're like ridiculous rules that need to be broken and have been being broken within the fashion industry.
So as a Black woman at the top of the fashion industry, how do you make sure that people of color whose image and identity have been historically underrepresented are seen and celebrated?
I don't know that I make sure, but I can only just voice my opinion. I can say whether I think there's not enough diversity happening in the casting, there's not enough diversity happening in the clothing choices. I make a point to my team and to whoever I'm working with to say something. And I have a really great editor-in-chief who is also a woman of color. So I think she really understands that if you say like, well, I don't feel like we have enough Black women in this casting, she'd be like, oh, let's go back to the drawing board. And it's no big deal. And I'm at a place in my career where I can use my voice and not feel afraid to. And so that's where I'm at.
So you frequent Beverly Hills, and I assume it's important to be able to capture and translate the mood and feel for the magazine. What are your thoughts on Rodeo Drive as a fashion inspiration?
Okay, I can speak to my most recent trip to Rodeo Drive. I was with my best friend, and we were standing there like every store has a line. Number one, it's like exciting to see like people are out shopping. Like it's great. I love it because I am such a New Yorker. I've never lived anywhere else. And I just feel like Rodeo Drive is just like a little bit different. It's a little bit more playful. I feel like you're getting like not so serious New Yorker in Black and like I'm going in here on a mission. Where Rodeo Drive to me, maybe that's because I'm a New Yorker, feels like a movie. Like it's like Elle Woods meets Clueless, like at all times, like everyone's happy and shopping and there's shopping bags everywhere and there's lots of color. And I think because the weather tends to be nice all year round, you're seeing more fashion, like really playful fashion and like not lots of coats. So
right,
I love looking at it. I love the people watching, but I'm just like, who are all these people? They have all these shopping bags. Like it always looks like Pretty Woman when she's walking out with like all of those shopping bags. I'm like, where are they going?
I'm curious too how your Hollywood issue cover, like this most recent one, how does that come together? I mean, with 8 different, or how many covers did you say that there were?
Oh my gosh. I you know what? I've forgotten. It's like a weird thing that we'll do as editors. Like we've worked on it and then like we have like tunnel vision forward, but like.
I know.
I've moved on.
It's the only way to survive, right?
We had 8. We had 8 covers.
Wow.
It's like, we meet a lot to discuss it. You know, we have, for our last 2, we had a really great team, Maurizio and Pierpaolo, on board to do the photography. And also Katie Grand, I called in to style. And just working together and like what we want our concept to be that year and meeting a lot about it, who the talent team brings their list of people. I'm coming with like, here's some really great fashion. Let me connect with Katie about it and see, you know, what she wants to do, how she wants to make this picture. And Maurizio and Pierpaolo, because they're also artists, have come up with lots of different sketches and ideas for us to go through of how they think the cover should look. And so it's a lot of work, but it's really fun. And it's really exciting because the end product is just makes a big splash and like everyone feels good and it's like visually really stimulating.
Oh, I can only imagine. Well, thank you, Nicole. I really appreciate you speaking with us today.
Thanks for having me. It was fun.
That was Nicole Chapoteau. I'm Pari Ehsan.
And I'm Jason E.C. Wright. On the next episode, Rodeo Drive brings in the summer in style. Could be a dog's day afternoon.
There will actually be an exhibition made specifically for canines where they will climb up this little red carpet ramp, and then you will be able to stand with your dog and have someone else take the picture.
Rodeo Drive, the podcast, is presented by the Rodeo Drive Committee with the support of the City of Beverly Hills, 2 Rodeo Drive, the Heyman family, Beverly Wilshire, a Four Seasons Hotel, the Beverly Hills Conference and Visitors Bureau, and MCM.
Rodeo Drive, the podcast, is written by Francis Anderton, with editing and videography by Hans Fjolstad. Brian Banks composed the theme music. Grace Fu is the production assistant. The executive producer is Lynn Winter.
Please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Join us on Instagram at Rodeo Drive. See you on the street.